His little brother, kidnapped. The ransom, half a ticket. But Harlem's beloved dope boy, Rich Porter, didn't have the paper. Then came the miracle on 125th Street. Thanks to the plug of all plugs, Rich had the ransom money, and then some. But instead of paying the ransom, Rich gambled with his brother's life. Our last two videos explained why Rich rolled the dice. This video uncovers the real reason why Rich Porter chose money over blood.
The was cold. Hustlers busting poles, all for the dough. Got bitches and rocks, fly whips and guap, all cause of that rock. Same nigga you call bro will backdoor your bro, all for the snow. God telling you stop, but it's so hard to stop, slinging that crack rock.
Before we get into the video, we have a special offer for you. You think you know the story of Rich Porter, the street king, his fast money, his flashy cars. But what if everything you thought about Rich was wrong? People think Rich Porter was an honorable and loyal dope boy. But real niggas know he was grimy, disloyal, and struck deals with the devil. The book, Big Karma, uncovers the truth about Rich Porter's dark side. This is the story Hollywood tried to bury. For a limited time only, you can get this explosive, unflinching biography for just $4.99. That's less than the price of a mini bottle of Henny for a story you will not be able to put down. Don't just hear the legend. Learn the man, the myth, the truth. Scan the QR code or hit the link in the description right now. And download your copy of Big Karma for just $4.99 before this special offer ends and the price goes up. Get the real story. By December 1989, Harlem was cold as fuck, and so was Rich Porter's heart. His 12-year-old brother, William Don Nail Porter, had been snatched, kidnapped on his way to school. Don Nail's kidnapping was a disrespectful street play, a diabolical ploy to shake Rich Porter down. Then the kidnappers called the crib, and when they called, they wanted to make sure the Porter family knew they were not fucking around. The kidnappers came out the gate demanding 500 bands in exchange for Don Nail's return, but later dropped it to 350 bands. They wanted big cash, and if Rich wanted to see his brother alive again, then he'd have to come out of them pockets fast. They told the Porter family to go to the McDonald's on 125th and Broadway. Under the sink in the men's room, they'd find proof that shit could get ugly if the kidnappers didn't get their money. Inside that cup was a cassette tape, 2 of Don Nail's rings, and a 2-inch piece of his finger. When Rich saw what they left at that McDonald's, the cassette, the rings, and that piece of Don Nail's finger, something inside him broke. He tried to tell himself Don Nail was still out there, that Don Nail was still alive, but deep down, a part of him already knew what was what. He just wasn't ready to face facts yet. When word spread through Harlem, even the hardest gangsters were shaken. There were rules in the streets. You could hustle, you could rob, you could pop a knob. But kidnapping a kid, that was beyond foul. You had to have the devil in you to cross that line. Still, in the middle of all the madness, somebody showed Rich love the only way he knew how. That somebody was Richard Fritz Simmons. Fritz was one of Harlem's most respected plugs, and when he caught wind that Don Nail got kidnapped, he stepped up big time. He gave Rich 30 bricks and 200 grand in cash, no strings attached, just to help bring Don Nail home. Rich had what he needed. 30 keys should more than cover the ransom, and the 200 bands in cash was enough to help him get out of the game for good. It was time to make the call, but just before he made the call, something stopped him. That quiet voice, the one he'd buried under pride, pain, and paranoia, started talking again. It told him what his heart already knew. Don Nail wasn't coming home. And deep down, Rich felt it too. He figured he probably wouldn't make it back either. You can't trade with the devil and expect mercy. AZ later said that in those final days, Rich came to him heavy. He told AZ straight. He didn't think Donnell was alive anymore. But he couldn't stop moving. He had to do something. He had to keep hustling. AZ must have saw pain in Rich's eyes, must have saw Rich's spirit fighting a losing battle with that karma. Donnell wasn't officially dead, but it was clear Rich Porter was already in mourning. On January 3rd, 1990, real mourning would come to the Porter family. Police found Rich's body in the Bronx. He had been shot several times at close range. He died with a little over $2,000 in his pocket. The rumors came fast. Some said Rich got robbed, others said it was payback for an old violation, and some just called it what it was, the streets collecting their debt. But one thing was certain. With Rich gone, there was no saving Donnell. If he wasn't already dead, he was now. At the time, most people didn't know who murked Rich, but a privileged few, including his family, had their suspicions. They believed Alberto Alpo Martinez, one of Rich's closest friends and business partners, had something to do with it. Years later, Alpo would admit to murking Rich, claiming it was over money, not loyalty. By then it didn't matter. The damage was done. The streets loved to talk, and they said Rich kept hustling because he was greedy or that he couldn't leave the game alone. But it wasn't like that. He had the ransom. He was ready to pay, but something inside him said it was already too late. So instead of handing that cash over to the devils who took his brother, he resorted to what he knew best. Hustling. Not for profit, not for pride, just to feel like he still had a say in the game. That's the thing about the game, though. The game will make you feel untouchable, right up until it takes your life.
You were not for life, you'll get popped on sight. I'll stop your life, cause we locked in strife. With a knob for life, my Glock no nice. It'll pop and bite, chop day all night. Be ready for action, cause I won't be lacking. If I catch you passing, best believe I'll be blasting. I'll be everlasting, no when, so stop asking. It's over the day your bitch ass is up in that casket. Once beef, always beef. We ops for life. Put that heat to your teeth. We ops for